welcome. You're listening to WIXC and watching the high school football game of the week. I'm Scott Singer along with Donald Rucker as we're live down in Muskogee County at Kinnett Stadium, just adjacent to the campus of Shaw High School, and this is the state quarterfinals, and what a great night for football. It was raining all afternoon. The field's a little bit wet, but all the rain is past. There's nothing behind us. It should be clear skies the rest of the evening, and a great night for high school football. The winner of tonight's game goes on to the Georgia Dome to play in the state's Final Four. The loser, they'll be doing layups on Monday afternoon.
Well, somebody will be playing basketball, Scott, on Monday afternoon, and you alluded earlier, right before we came on, that in '99, you knew Cartersville had the dominating running back. They had the dominating wideout, a big, strong quarterback, and you knew that in '99, Cartersville was going to score points. And even a couple years after that, with a dominating player, quarterback Lee Miles, you could be confident that Cartersville would make plays and they would score. Going into this game, this team is totally different from the '99 team and the Lee Miles teams. It takes a team effort in order for this team to win on offense and on defense. So, we expect a big game here, and it's really, Scott, just a pick-em game. You can't really say Shaw and you can't say Cartersville, but it's a pick-em game. But if Cartersville gets a team effort from the offensive line, the defensive line, secondary, quarterback, running backs, if everybody can come together and play well, Cartersville can win this football game.
I totally agree with you. If you look down at Shaw's schedule this year, they haven't played a lot of really good teams. They played LaGrange. Obviously, that's one of the better teams in the state. They got drilled. They beat Troup County, but in a closer game, and then they had the two playoff wins. Most recently, a big win over Cairo. They beat Mary Persons in the first round in a close game, 27-20. Then they pretty much whipped Cairo on the road in Thomasville, 27-0. So they're starting to come together, but again, they haven't seen the type of talent week in and week out that this Cartersville team has seen.
Scott, you're right. They got blown out by a very good LaGrange team, and LaGrange has done it to a lot of teams. But you're right. This Cartersville team is perhaps the second-best team behind LaGrange that Shaw has played this year. So they haven't seen a team that plays well on offense, has a complete game on defense, special teams. This is probably the second toughest team on their schedule this year.
And one thing that you could have seen, if you've seen any of the film, is that LaGrange threw the ball all over the field on him and got to the corners and ran on him all night long as well. So, again, that was one of the teams they saw with a lot of speed. They had a lot of trouble stopping them. And then, of course, LaGrange's defense is going to hold anybody to just a few points.
Right. And as you know, Cartersville has a lot of speed. Shaw has played some other teams with speed, but when you take speed combined with coaching, and Cartersville, this Cartersville team's well coached. We don't call out Coach James Jones' name a whole lot, but that offensive line coached by James Jones has been a key all year for this Cartersville offensive football team. And if that line plays well and they're knocking Shaw off the ball, then we're going to be successful tonight.
One thing, people have asked me, would you rather play this team or would you rather play a Westminster team? And I almost feel like you'd rather play a team that's one-dimensional like this. Westminster's so dangerous on the offensive side of the ball, and I think really gained the respect of a lot of people in Cartersville last Friday night. And that was a very, very good offense, probably one of the best we've seen all season.
Well, and it was an experienced team, Scott. You had experienced quarterback, experienced receivers, a lot of seniors on that Westminster team that played a lot of football. They've been in the playoffs the last 3 or 4 years. They're used to the playoff atmosphere. And much like this Shaw team, the only difference is, as you stated, Westminster has a well-balanced offensive football team. Shaw, a little one-dimensional. They like to run the football. They do have a big, strong quarterback. They can throw the ball when needed, but they're going to try to grind it out and look to get the big play when they do throw a pass.
And again, they'll run behind the big fullback. That's number 39, Gerald Mabry, and he is as good as advertised. He's about 6'3", 260 pounds, and he can just pound behind their big offensive line. But again, Cartersville's got a pretty big defensive line and very quick linebackers, and that may negate some of their running ability.
Yes, Scott, and hopefully Mabry won't have a good night tonight, but after tonight, I can pull for him a little. I know that Georgia Tech is one of the top 2 teams on his list, and he's been offered by Tech, so like to see him get about 3 yards a night and about 300 his first game with Georgia Tech if he elects to go to Tech.
Well, we'll take a look at the captains down at the midfield stripe right now. For the Shaw Raiders at home tonight, it's Brandon Cummings, Gerald Mabry, number 76, Ryan Purvis, and number 95, Ryan Osterley. For the Hurricanes on the other side of the field, of course, the visitors tonight, it's Ian Smith, Mike Fair, A.T. Barnes, and Raymond Nesbitt. They're the captains for tonight's game, and we will send it down to the field right now as we've got some audio down there.
You guys, okay? Jump in 74 and 15, if you will. We have heads, We have head, tail. You should call it loud enough for him to hear you, okay? In the air.
Tails.
He calls what? Tails. Tails it is. You have the choice. You like to defer. Like.
And there you have the coin toss. Cartersville has won it. They have deferred to the second half. And again, they're going to put the defense on the field first.
And Scott, both of these teams are similar on offense. They want to run the football. Of course, Shaw's going to line up in the wing T look. They're going to try to get it to the fullback. With the field being wet, I don't know who this favors, whether it favors Shaw or Cartersville, but they got the big fullback on a wet field. We'll see how Cartersville is able to adjust and stop this big fullback of Shaw.
Well, Cartersville probably has more fans here tonight in South Georgia than Shaw does. I'm very unimpressed with the home crowd so far. Only about 4 or 5 rows taken up on the home side, so that may be some advantage to Cartersville. They've got a good group of faithful here tonight that made the long trip down. I guess they came down 75 to 85 to 185. It's about 2.5 hours. If you haven't left Cartersville yet, just sit back and listen, because you probably won't make it by the end of the game. But we're just about ready to get this one underway from Knitt Stadium. Again, you're listening to WYXC and you're watching the high school football game of the week. I'm Scott Singer along with Donald Rucker, and the Hurricanes are going to put the defense on the field first. One of the keys here, get a stop early.
Yeah, Scott, and we know that one of the things that Cartersville has not done well all year is kick off the football. Lately, they've taken Trent Dittmer. They've tried to pooch the ball up, kick it short. Westminster got good field position all night long after Cartersville kicked the football. So we'll see if any adjustments have been made. Will Cartersville try to kick it deep, or what will we do? But we got to do a better job of covering kickoffs and kicking football.
Well, Trent Dittmer will put the ball down on the 40-yard line, and we're just about ready to get this one underway from Knitt Stadium. You're listening to coverage of the 2004 AAA State Quarterfinals. At stake tonight, a ticket to next weekend's Georgia Dome. And, of course, the winner of this game will get the winner of Washington County and North Hall. In the other brackets in AAA tonight, Carrollton meets up with LaGrange, and Martin Luther King takes on Peach County in the bottom bracket on the other side.
And, Scott, we know this is going to be a big game, and it's going to be a hard-fought game. But many people thought that if Cartersville could get by Westminster, that Cartersville would probably be in the dome. And that was a challenge and a test last week. But this is going to be a good football game and a tough game tonight.
Well, Shaw is getting ready to receive the opening kickoff. Back deep for the Raiders is number 10, Brandon Rose. And the kick is underway. It is a deep floating kick, and Rose will pick it up at the 15-yard line. He's across the 20, still on his feet at the 25, loose up the middle and out to the 42-yard line, and that's where the Raiders will take over 1st and 10.
Again, Scott, the kick team not doing a good job of covering this kickoff. Shaw is going to start on the Shaw 42-yard line, and, of course, number 10 that time, Brandon Rose for Shaw, was very close to breaking that kickoff all the way. One thing Cartersville's got to do, Scott, even if Shaw does complete a pass, if they pick up some yardage, Cartersville has got to hit them. We got to make sure that, they know that they're in a football game and they're going to get hit all night long, and it'll pay dividends the second half of this game.
Terrence Moore, the quarterback, will go under center, and he's going to call timeout immediately. He doesn't like the Hurricanes' look, and Jarrell Mabry not in the football game, so we'll take a quick break as well. 11:49 to play here in the opening quarter. No score. We got a quick timeout. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Knitt Stadium. You're listening to WYXC and watching the high school football game of the week. The Raiders will now bring it up to the line after burning an early timeout. And this time, Terrence Moore, the quarterback, will bring him up to the line. In at the wingback this time is Brandon Rose. And in the backfield by himself is Jarrell Mabry. Split out wide this time, number 28, Quincy Rojas. They'll move him to the left side of the formation. And again, Moore will go under center, and this time he's going to run down the line on the option, and he's going to be drilled in the backfield. The Hurricane front line in there quickly, and the purple and gold get a big stop on 1st down. They drop him back at the 33-yard line, and that's going to be a loss of almost 9 yards on 1st down, and that's going to back up the Raiders early.
Scott, and you're talking about a Shaw team that threw the football one time last week against Cairo, and they try to cross up Cartersville. They fake the belly to the big fullback, but number 22, Barrett Knapp, sacked the quarterback for Shaw.
This time the Raiders are going to run out of an eye. They bring Mabry in at the fullback. And this time they're going to hand off right up the middle. They're looking for the corner, and the Hurricane defense gets him right there at the line. Mike Fair coming in to make the stop up at the 35-yard line. He gets nowhere on second down, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 17 now for the Raiders in their opening drive of the game with 10:55 to play here in the opening quarter.
And the person that made that play was number 9, Brandon Houston. Took on the 260-pound fullback 3 yards deep in the backfield and just blew that play up. As it was, Cartersville defense, Scott, just swarmed all over that ball carrier on that play. Nice job by Brandon Houston.
This time the Raiders will go out of a split backfield. Back there again are Lamar Holland and Gerald Mabry on the run this time, and the quarterback's going to be dropped at the 25-yard line, and the Hurricane defense has come up big on the opening drive of the game. And what an effort defensively. Cartersville is flat whipping the Shaw Raiders on the front line.
22 again, Barrett Knaps, and number 4, Chris Cochran in the area, but Barrett Knaps just took a gap and blitz and sacked the quarterback. Again, Scott, Shaw coming out trying to throw the football, and 2 sacks early for this Cartersville defense.
The Raiders will now kick it from their own 10-yard line back deep to receive for the Hurricanes. Terrell Johnson and Mr. Primetime just across his own 40-yard line. The snap is over the head of the punter. He's going to go back and kick it through the end zone, and the Hurricanes will get 2 to start the game early. They lead it 2-0, and what an effort. Now there's a penalty flag on the field.
Yeah, Scott, that flag is going to be for illegal kicking the ball. It'll be declined by Cartersville. The punter kicked that ball out the back of the end zone, and that's what you're taught to do, to give up the safety. Don't lose that fumble. Allow Cartersville to get on the football for a touchdown. But that'll be 2 points for Cartersville. Scott, we talked about the fact that they played LaGrange, a team with a lot of speed. But this is probably, I said, the second best team that Shaw has played. It might be the best team that Shaw has played. But this Cartersville team has a lot of speed.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with the free kick with 9:42 to play here in the opening quarter. No score from Knitt Stadium. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Knitt Stadium. You're watching the high school football game of the week, and you're listening to WYXC AM 1270. The Hurricanes leading it 2-0 early in this one after it was snapped over the head of the punter, and this time they're going to kick one right down the middle. It's going to go out of bounds at the 45-yard line, and the Hurricanes are in business now.
Scott, you talk about setting a tone early for this football game. The Cartersville defense has just come out and just completely shut down this Shaw offense. 1, 2, 3 and out in that first series, and now Shaw kicking off instead of punting on this free kick from their own 20-yard line. The ball went out of bounds, and Cartersville is going to get this football at the Shaw 45-yard line. They're going to give Cartersville a short field right here.
So, unlike last week where we had terrible field position in the first half, the Hurricanes starting with excellent field position to get this one going. 9:42 to go here in the opening quarter. The Hurricanes will show wing T. They bring A.T. Barnes wide to the right side of the formation. They send Johnson in motion, play action. They drop back. They go over the top. Alone is A.T. Barnes. In and out of his hands, and that was 6. Oh, what an effort that time. A.T. Barnes had 5 feet on his receiver and just couldn't hang on. And the Hurricanes were about to tack 6 on the board.
Scott, that play was set up, just a beautiful play set up. Great call by Coach Barden. Cartersville faked the buck sweep to number 21. Terrell Johnson is going to get a lot of attention, and you can't throw a football any better than what Lyle Allen threw that ball. He hit number 12, A.T. Barnes, right in stride, and A.T. Barnes was not able to hold on.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it back up to the line. They're going to again work out of the wing T. A.T. split wide to the right side of the formation. This time Allen's going to check off at the line. This time the Raiders are going to bring 8 in the box, 5 up on the defensive front, 3 linebackers. Now bring 10 in the box. And this time the Hurricanes are going to run the football. The dodging inside is Raymond Nesbitt. He gets across the 45 down to the 43-yard line, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 8. Well, the Hurricanes went for the home run early, and boy, it was right there. And that would have really set the tone for this evening's game.
Scott, that would have been huge if Cartersville goes up 9-0 in this first quarter, with about 10 minutes to go. You would have Shaw on their heels right away. I'll take a 45-yard drive, though, right here.
Well, the Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line. Again, they show 3rd and 8. A.T. split wide to the right side of the formation. They send Johnson in motion. Again, play action. They drop back. He goes over the top again. A.T.'s got a step, and it's just through his fingertips again inside the 5. And the Hurricanes can throw that ball all day long because they cannot cover A.T. Barnes. That time, A.T. didn't have quite the distance on the ball that he should have had, and unfortunately that was dropped. But you got to feel good early on. It brings up 4th and 9. The Canes are going to be forced to punt here, and I think they're going to try to pin the Raiders back deep.
Yeah, I think AT kind of misjudged that ball, but that was another good ball by Lyle Allen. Good throw. I think Cartersville is going to be short one here, Scott, on the punt team. One guy not on the field, and here comes A.T. Barnes on the field.
So A.T. comes on late. Trent Dittmer back to kick this one from his own 45-yard line. Gets the snap, gets his foot underneath it. Sort of a pooch shot to the left-hand side. It'll bounce at the 20-yard line and roll out of bounds, and that's where the Raiders will take over 1st and 10.
That time, Trent Dittmer tried to angle that football out of bounds toward the left sideline. Did not get enough of that football, Scott. That ends up being about, about a 23, 24-yard punt on that play. Shaw's going to start from the 21-yard line, but you like to get that thing inside the 10 if you can.
The Raiders are going to again bring it up to the line. They'll work out of an eye. Brandon Rose in the backfield, and this time they're going to pitch it to him around the left end. He's looking for the corner. The Hurricanes are trying to get there, and Rose is outside and has the first down across the 30, out near the 34-yard line. We'll see where he actually stepped out of bounds. They're going to say the 32, and it's a pickup of 10 on first down. And just like that, the Raiders get the first down of the game.
Yeah, Shaw runs an old-fashioned toss sweep that time with Rose. They had a lot of guys on the corner right there that and really got Cartersville outnumbered. Rose able to pick up good yardage. And Rose, not a very big back, about 160 pounds, but he's got speed, you can tell.
This time they're going to shift and bring the wing to the right side of the formation. And this time they're going to pitch it again to Rose, looking for the corner. Rose trying to get outside. He's got some room to run. He's out at the 40, and A.T. Barnes is going to knock him out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Great hit that time by Barnes, but not before he picks up another 11 yards. And the Raiders again move the sticks.
Yeah, Scott, Cartersville very fortunate that Rose did not take that ball the distance. They made a shift. They brought the wing back and the tight end from the left side to the right side. Cartersville did not adjust. They had numbers. You could tell before that play was snapped that play was going for big yardage because they had more guys on that right side than Cartersville did.
Again, the Raiders will work out of the eye. Mabry and Rose again in the backfield, and again they shift Holland to the left side of the formation, and they pitch it outside again. He's looking for the corner, and the Hurricanes will get out there to meet him, and he'll get another first down crossing into Hurricane territory down to the Cartersville 44-yard line.
And Scott, we got a flag on the play, but again, they took their wing and tight end, shifted from the right side to the left side. Cartersville is not making an adjustment. They're running the toss sweep, and they've got Cartersville outnumbered. They're pinned in the defensive end, getting them pinned inside, and Rose is just running untouched for the first 7 or 8 yards.
We'll see what the penalty is. It's going to be an illegal block in the back against the Raiders, so that's a big penalty. It's going to be 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Yeah, Scott, Cartersville's going to have to make an adjustment. They're going to either have to shift their defensive front of linebackers over there.
It brings up 1st and 12 now. It happened up at the Cartersville 48-yard line. It'll bring them back to the Shaw 42. And this time the Raiders are going to run right up the gut with Mabry, who pushes his way near the midfield stripe, a gain of almost 7 on first down. And it's going to bring up, actually more like 8 yards. It's going to bring up 2nd and 3.
Scott, that's a 260-pound fullback. Mabry looking good running that football on that play, but the defense is kind of on his heels right now. Shaw has been able to get a couple of big plays, but we've got to make a couple adjustments right here.
Well, the Raiders are going to bring it up to the line. Again, they're going to go wing to the right side of the formation. This time, they're going to hand off to Mabry up the middle, and the big fullback rumbles through, pushing his way for the first down as he gets down to the Cartersville 45-yard line, and the Raiders are going to move the sticks again.
And it looked as if they were going to have the big fullback hemmed up in the backfield, but, give Mabry credit. Nice cut. That play was designed to go to the right, a kick-out play, and he took it and bent it back towards the left side, found an opening, and picked up the first down.
Well, the Raiders will again bring it up to the line. 7:01 to play here in the opening quarter. Cartersville leading it 2-0 on the Century Bank scoreboard. The Raiders will shift to the right side of the formation to overload it, and this time they're going to again pitch out on the corner, and looking inside that time is number 10, Brandon Rose, and he gets down to the Cartersville 40, a gain of 5 on first down. And again, the Hurricane defense back on their heels a little bit right now on this drive.
Yeah, Scott, that's the 4th time that they've shifted the tight end, wing back to the other side of the formation. Cartersville did make an adjustment, but the linebackers have got to step in the field on that play. Cartersville may need to get a timeout on defense, Scott, to make an adjustment to stop that play.
This time they're going to come out with a different set. They'll go with a split backfield, it looks like. Actually, they're going to come back to the I, as Mabry will line up at the fullback, and again, Rose at the tailback position. Terrence Moore goes back under center, wing to the right side of the formation. They pitch it out, running to the left. They've got some room outside, and again, Rose looking inside, and Chris Cochran comes up, makes the initial stop, but he pushes forward for a few extra yards. It'll be 3rd and short now. He gains almost 3 on 2nd down.
Yeah, again, they run the sweep. This time, instead of running it to the strong side, they ran it away from the tight end in the wing. They ran the sweep to the weak side, but the sweep play has been successful against the Cartersville defense. They're attacking the corners hard against Cartersville in this first quarter.
5:44 to go here in the opening quarter. Cartersville leading it 2-0 on the Century Bank scoreboard. 3rd and 2 the call here for the Raiders as they're going to bring it up to the line. They're going to work from the left hash mark, going left to right on your radio dial. They're going to go wing to the left side. Now they're going to shift it over, bring the tight end and the wing to the right side of the formation. That's the wide side of the field. And this time they hand off right up the middle to Jarrell Mabry, who runs it right across the 35 down to the Cartersville 31-yard line. That's going to be a gain of almost 5 on 3rd and short, and they'll move the sticks again.
Huge advantage right there for Shaw. 3rd down and about 2. You have a 265-pound fullback, and they run the trap. He easily picks up about 5 yards. But Scott, that set has got Cartersville in a bind right now. They're shifting, running sweep. That time they shift, and they ran the fullback trap.
Well, Cartersville can get through this drive. They can come back and make an adjustment defensively, and this time, again, they're going to shift the tight end and the wing to the right side of the formation. Cartersville moves over defensively, and this time they're going to run to the backside, and the ball carrier that time right up the middle gets loose. He's outside, and now he's down across the 25 to the 24-yard line. Got through some initial contact. That was Brandon Rose, the ball carrier, a gain of 8 on 1st down, brings up 2nd and short, and the Canes have got to stop him on 1st down like they did in the opening drive.
Yeah, and this kid, Brandon Rose, Scott, you've got to lock up on this kid. He's running hard. He's ran hard on every carry. You can't walk up and just throw a shoulder into him, expect him to go down. He's running hard. He got Mabry running. But, now Shaw's making an adjustment in Cartersville shift, Scott. Now they're running back to the weak side.
Shaw's going to bring it up to the line. Again, they're going to work out of the I. A wide receiver to each side, and again, Moore goes under center. Long snap count this time. 4:08 to play here in the opening quarter, and again, they run it right up the middle, and the ball carrier that time, Brandon Rose, gets across the 20. That's going to be very near a 1st down. I think it is a 1st down, so they're going to go ahead and move the sticks again.
And, Scott, after that first drive, Shaw has gone back to what got him here. They came out and attempted to throw 2 passes, and the quarterback was sacked on that first drive, but now they've come out and they're running the stuff that got them here to 3rd round of the playoffs. And Cartersville defense struggling right now to stop this Shaw offense.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the Hurricane 20 as the Raiders bring it up to the line. Again, they're going to work out of the I. Moore goes under center, and this time he's going to drop back. He throws to the flat. He's got a receiver out there, and he's going to get down to the 20 to 15-yard line. A gain of 5 on 1st down brings up 2nd and 5. That was a quick out that time to Brandon Rose in the flat.
Yeah, and Shaw using their weapons. They took the tailback, Brandon Rose, and they put him wide out. Threw a pass, just raised up. Quarterback just raised up and threw it out there to Brandon Rose, and Brandon picked up 5 yards on that play, but they're getting the ball in his hand. He's got to touch it. He's one of their go-to guys.
3:06 to go here in the opening quarter. Canes leading it 2-0 on the Century Bank scoreboard. This time they're going to pitch it out to Rose, looking for the corner. He steps inside, and the Hurricanes will meet him, but he does push forward for a yard or 2. It's going to bring up 3rd and short.
And Scott, I tell you, we are still not adjusting well to that set. Brandon Houston is lining up wide outside. He's shifting, coming up to take that play on, but he's leaving a huge hole right there. It's just an alley for the tailback Rose to run in. Of course, with 3rd and short, you're probably going to see the big fullback Mabry get the ball on this play.
Shaw's going to bring it up to the line. Mabry's going to line up at the tailback this time. In at the fullback is Lamar Holland, and this time they're going to shift Brandon Rose to the right side of the formation. 3rd and 2 the call from the Hurricane 12, and they run it to Mabry up the middle, who's at the 5, pushes his way forward, and dives into the end zone for the touchdown, and the Raiders are on the board. They lead it 6-2.
Now what Shaw is beginning to do, Scott, they're shifting their tight end and wing back. Cartersville is adjusting, and they're running back towards the weak side. And what they're really doing, they're running away now from Darius Benham, who's on the strong side, and running towards the weak side. Mabry got to the 3, Scott. He ran slap over Chris Cochran and number 12, A.T. Barnes. That is a big fullback. Don't know if Cartersville's seen one that big in the last couple of years.
Well, the Raiders will come in to attempt the extra point. The snap is down. The kick is up and on the way, and it is no good. It went wide right, so it's still 6-2. 2:10 to play here in the opening quarter. It's now Shaw 6, Cartersville 2. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're listening to WIXC and watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back to Connett Stadium. You're listening to WIXC and watching the high school football game of the week. The Raiders set to kick this one off. Cartersville will get the football. The kick is end over end, high and deep and into the end zone, and Cartersville is going to get it at the 20-yard line with 2:10 to play here in the opening quarter. Canes trailing at 6-2 on the Century Bank scoreboard.
Chandler Anderson, the kicker for Shaw, a sophomore, kicked that football into the end zone about 5 yards deep, a 65-yard kickoff, a line drive. Had that ball not going into the end zone, Cartersville had the opportunity for a good return, but a nice kick by the kicker Anderson for Shaw.
Well, the Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line, and again, they're going to run with a wing to the right side of the formation, out of an I backfield. This time they're going to bring Ian Smith, the tight end, to the right side of the formation. They'll run out of a wing T as they shift a little bit. Lyle Allen goes under center. Now he's going to change the call at the line. Allen again goes under center. This time he's going to send Johnson in motion. He gives it to him around the left end. Johnson stepping inside, and he's hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Brings up 2nd and 10. Coming on to make the play that time was number 79. That's Bruce Riles.
Yeah, that time Cartersville shifting, going to an unbalanced formation with Ian Smith, but they ran back away from the unbalanced. What Shaw's doing early is that they're taking away the cutback lanes. Their defensive linemen are doing a good job of playing down the line and taking away the cutback lanes for the Cartersville running backs.
Well, the Canes are again going to bring it up to the line, and again they're going to work out of the wing T. Split out wide to the right side of the formation. This time is Benji Farr, and this time they pitch it around the right end to Johnson, who's loose outside, and he's going to be tackled at the 28-yard line after a pickup of 8 on 2nd down. Brings up 3rd and short.
That time Cartersville running the sweep and getting outside with 21, Terrell Johnson. And Scott, even though it's early in this first quarter, 1:15 to go, this is a big first down. Cartersville needs to establish a drive right here.
Well, the Canes are again going to bring it up to the line. They'll work from the right hash mark, moving right to left on your radio dial and on your TV screen. The Canes are going to bunch it up to the right side of the formation as they now split Ian Smith over there. And this time they'll come out of the wing T. Long snap count. And again, Lyle Allen, again changing the play at the line. Shaw looks like they've got the entire team in the box, and this time they're going to pitch it out, looking for Terrell Johnson, who's going to try to get to the corner, and Johnson will get there. He's got the first down, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks. And boy, was that an effort that time by primetime Terrell Johnson.
Scott, nice job by Terrell Johnson. It was basically one-on-one, Terrell Johnson and the cornerback from Shaw. Terrell Johnson just turned on the jets, got outside, and picked up the first down. And that was a big first down early here in this first quarter.
A pickup of 4 that time for Terrell Johnson. Puts the ball on the Hurricane 32-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. 30 seconds to play here in the opening quarter. Again, Shaw leading it 6-2 on the Century Bank scoreboard as the Canes will bring it up to the line. This time they're going to come out of the wing T. They split A.T. Barnes wide to the right side of the formation. This time they're going to send Chris McClendon in motion, and they hand off up the middle to Nesbitt, who's going to get 3 or 4 before he's wrestled down. It'll bring up 2nd and 7.
It's got this Shaw defense is a swarming defense. These guys are quick, and they run to the football. They're good tacklers. That's probably going to do it for the first quarter.
And that will do it for the first quarter of play with our scores, Shaw 6, Cartersville 2. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're listening to WIXC and watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back to Connett Stadium for the high school football game of the week. Again, you're listening to WIXC and watching the high school football game of the week. 6-2 your score right now. The Hurricanes trailing in this one, but they do have the football. They'll face 2nd and 7 from their own, just inside their own 35-yard line. This is a big drive for the Hurricanes offensively, and for the first time tonight, they're going to come with 1 back in the backfield and twins to the left side. A.T. Barnes split out wide along with Jeremy Trimble. In the backfield all alone is Raymond Nesbitt. This time they're going to send it back in motion, and under play action they drop back. They throw over the top, and Trimble's there, and it's incomplete. Right in the pocket that time, but he couldn't hang on just across the midfield stripe.
Yeah, and Jeremy Trimble, Scott, was going down as that ball was thrown. He lost his footing at about the 50-yard line. But Cartersville, because Shaw has 8, Scott, and sometimes 9 guys up there in the box, Cartersville, if they can block that defensive front, you're going to have time to throw the football. And they're playing man-to-man on Trimble and A.T. Barnes on that play. So there are going to be some openings in that secondary.
Well, the Hurricanes will again bring it up to the line. This time they're going to run out of the wing tee. A.T. Barnes split out wide to the left side of the formation. They send Trimble in motion, and this time they're going to drop back. They throw quickly to the flat. Trimble's outside, and he's going to be right near the first down marker. We'll see where he went out.
Scott, I think he marked him a little short on that play. I'm talking.
Trimble almost ran over the referee that time. He's going to be 2 yards short.
Wow.
Trimble was alone out there and didn't. It's going to bring up 4th and 2, and now the Hurricanes have to kick it away.
Yeah, it was great closing speed by number 9, Anthony Threets. That time the defensive back for Shaw really came up and did a good job of holding Trimble 2 yards short of the first down.
Back deep to receive again for the Raiders, of course, number 10, Brandon Rose, a name we will hear throughout the evening, and number 18. And the Hurricanes fake it right up the middle and loose up the middle this time for the Hurricanes. That time goes number 9. What an effort by Brandon Houston, and the Hurricanes are in business. What an effort. Boy, fake. I'm looking down at the roster to find out who 18 is for Shaw, and they snap it quickly and run right up the middle, and the Hurricanes are in business down at the 23-yard line of the Raiders. And what an effort that time for the Hurricanes offensively on 4th down.
Scott, I wasn't going to say it, but I was thinking, you know, we've used that fake punt 2 other games this year, and Cartersville has had success every time they've used that play. I was thinking it, but I wasn't going to say it, but great call again by Coach Barden.
They're going to bring Ian Smith to the right side of the formation out of the wing tee. Lyle Allen again checking off at the line, and again Shaw putting 9 or 10 in the box. The Hurricanes are going to again come up to the line. This time they're going to send Johnson in motion, and they hand it to him, but we got whistles all around. It's going to be a delay of game, I think, on the Canes. It took a little too much time. And you can't give them stuff like that.
No, Scott, you don't want to start your drive 1st and 15. As good as this defense is, no, you can't do that. You know, this may force now Cartersville have to throw this football now on 1st down. And again, Scott, if you can block them, there are people open, but Cartersville's got to catch the football.
Well, the Hurricanes come away with the big fake punt. Even faked me out because I wasn't even looking at the field when it happened. 10:59 to play here in the second quarter. Shaw leading at 6-2 as the Canes will bring it up to the line. Again, they're going to work out of the wing tee. Jeremy Trimble split out wide to the left side of the formation. And again, Lyle Allen will go under center. This time he's going to send Johnson in motion out of the wing tee. Pitches to him around the left end. Johnson looks upfield, and he's going to push his way for 5 or 6 and get back to the original line of scrimmage on the play before, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and if you can pick up again, Scott, you know, they elected to keep it on the ground, run the sweep. They've had some success with the sweep, but if you can pick up 5 or 6 yards again here on 2nd down, you can make this 3rd down a manageable play here. This Shaw defense is good, Scott. A lot of speed, and these guys, they fly, absolutely fly to the football.
The Canes are going to bring it up to the line. Again, they'll work out of the wing tee. This time they're going to send Johnson in motion. They fake to him. They drop back. Allen under pressure, throws it over the top, has a receiver, and Trimble catches it for 6.
Touchdown.
And the Hurricanes are in business. What an effort offensively. Jeremy Trimble with his first touchdown of the year, and the Hurricanes have put 6 on the board.
Scott put a star on the back of the helmet of 2 people. Number 1, Lyle Allen has thrown the deep ball to perfection, and a great job of catching the football, getting his feet down by number 2, Jeremy Trimble. Excellent play by those 2 guys.
Jeremy Trimble, who dropped one earlier tonight, made up for it there. And again, Trent Dittmer will come in to attempt the extra point with 10:10 to go. The snap is down, the kick is up and on the way, and it's good. The Canes now lead it 9-6. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're listening to WYXC, and you're watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back to Knit Stadium. You're watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WYXC AM 1270. The Hurricanes have retaken the lead 9-6 on a 22-yard pitch and catch from Lyle Allen to Jeremy Trimble. And boy, Trimble came up with a big play right there, and what an effort offensively. You like to see him come up big. Trimble, only a junior, has a good future here with the Canes, and now Dittmer will kick this one off from the 40. This time he'll kick it end over end down the middle, and fielding it, of course, down the middle is Rose. He's across the 25, still on his feet at the 30. He's loose with one man to beat. Actually turns it, reverses his field, now has some room to run. James Maxwell trying to get to him, and he's going to go the distance as he brings that one back for 6. And now the Raiders get right back into it.
And Scott, the very person that you didn't want to kick it to was Rose. I mean, he does it all. He returns punts, he returns kickoffs. They put him at wide out, they put him at tailback. He gets a lot of touches. I don't know how fast he is, but Scott, he's got to be 4.4 or better than the 40. But number 10, Brandon Rose, not very big, looks to be about 5'10", 160 pounds, but he has speed to burn.
So that makes the score 12-9. They'll come in to attempt the extra point. The snap is down, the kick is on the way, and this one splits the uprights. That makes it 13-9 with 9:48 to play here in quarter number 2. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're listening to WYXC and watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back to Knit Stadium, and now the Hurricanes will get a chance on offense with 9:48 to play here in the first half. The Canes had just taken the lead 9-6, had all the momentum going. The crowd was out of the game. The team was dejected, and then they run that one back. And something's got to change on the Cartersville kick coverage team because that has been a very weak spot. The Hurricanes are going to let this one roll into the end zone. Actually, now Brandon Houston rolls back to pick it up as the ball dies at the 1, and Shaw comes up with just the best luck I've seen all night.
Scott, I thought that ball hit the goal line. If it hits the goal line, that's a touchback, Scott. You know, Brandon Houston gave up on that ball and walked off, thought it was going to the end zone, but I thought that ball landed on the goal line.
So the Hurricanes will start at their own 5-yard line after the excellent kick that time. And what a break that time for Shaw.
Yeah, and special teams has been a thorn in the flesh tonight for the Cartersville football team. Cartersville 1st and 10 on their own 4-yard line.
The Canes are going to bring it up to the line. Again, they need 96 yards to get this one going. 9:39 to play here in the first half. The Canes will come out of the wing tee. They're going to send Johnson in motion. They pitch it to him around the right end. The ball is loose, and he falls on it down at the 1-yard line as he bobbled the pitch, and that's going to bring up 2nd and long.
And, Scott, you know, some coaches will not run options, anything where you have to pitch it when you backed up inside your 10, and that's why if you get a fumble on one of those things, in most cases, other teams ends up with a touchdown, but very dangerous to take that ball and pitch it back off the line, backed up on your goal line. Cartersville loses 2 yards on that play and very nearly a touchdown for Shaw.
Well, the Canes are going to bring it up to the line, trailing 13-9. This time they're going to shift again. They bring A.T. Barnes in short to the right side of the formation. This time they send Nesbitt in motion. They give it to him around the right end. He's looking inside, bounces out on the corner. He's across the 5, still on his feet at the 10, and he's going to be wrestled down at the 11-yard line. So a nice effort that time by Ramon Nesbitt to give the Hurricanes a little breathing room.
Yeah, big run by Ramon Nesbitt. He did not get enough for the first down. He's still going to be about 5 yards short, but a great job by Ramon Nesbitt keeping his feet. It looked as if, Scott, he was going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain, but of course, Ramon Nesbitt just kept those feet churning, picked up an additional 8 yards on that play, and Cartersville needs a first down for field position right here, if nothing else.
8:20 to play here in the opening half. The Canes trailing it now 13-9 as they'll bring it up. Out of the wing tee this time. They're going to drop back to pass. They throw across the middle, and it's incomplete right between the fingertips of A.T. Barnes, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, Scott, this last month, A.T. Barnes has just struggled catching the football. Nice pass right in his hands. Went right through his hands from number 14, Lyle Allen. Lyle has, had some passes dropped tonight, but Scott, he's done a great job of throwing the football this first half.
The Hurricanes will now have it at their own 10-yard line where they will have to punt it away with 8:05 to play here in the first half.
Yeah, and you got number 10 on the left side, Rose back deep. You don't want to punt him the football.
And they get the high floating kick this time. It'll be all the way back to the 40-yard line. He loses the football. He's going to stay on his feet, and now the Hurricanes are going to meet him up at the 42. The ball is loose. Terrell Johnson has it. He's going back the other way. The Hurricanes at the 10, the 5, and Johnson in for 6, and the Hurricanes have come back the other way. What an effort that time. Just stripped it right out of his fingertips, and the the Hurricanes have the lead.
What time is it?
It's prime time, Coach.
Scott, and look who was down on that play stripping on that football. It was number 12, A.T. Barnes, was blocked on that play, got up, got in on the tackle, kept hustling. Number 12, A.T. Barnes, pulled that football out. Number 21, Terrell Johnson, always around the football. There's a fumble to get or interception. Terrell Johnson's going to be there. And, Scott, there was a flag on the play, a block in the back against Shaw in the return. Of course, that was declined, and Cartersville's kicking the extra point.
The Canes now lead it 15-13 with 7:43 to play here in the first half. The snap is down, the kick is up and on the way. That one is good, and the Canes now lead it 16-13. And now we'll take a quick break and come back. You're listening to WYXC and watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back to Knitt Stadium. 7:43 to play here in the first half. And the Hurricanes, the Cardiac Canes, I should say, are giving us a little heart trouble here, but they are now back on top, 16-13.
Yeah, Scott, we can't kick this ball to number 10, Rose.
Dittmer now kicks this one right down the middle, and Rose is going to field it at the 15 off the hop. And here come the Canes after him, and a great open field tackle by Barrett Knaps back at the 20-yard line. And that's the best special teams play we've seen all night outside of the touchdown run back.
And, Scott, I think we can just line up and just kick the ball high and deep down the field. You know, Dittmer has done a good job when he's kicked it deep. I don't know if we need to push that kick up, but we can kick it deep downfield and just allow our kids to sprint downfield and cover. Cartersville's got a man down, Scott. I think it's number 3, Kenneth Thomas, the defensive tackle. Looks to have some type of leg injury.
Well, while they tend to him, we'll take a quick break. 7:34 to play here in the first half. Canes lead this one 16-13 on the Century Bank scoreboard. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Knitt Stadium. 7:34 to play here in the first half. Canes holding a 16-13 advantage, and the Raiders are going to come out of the eye. They'll split a wide receiver out wide to the right side of the formation, and again Terrence Moore goes under center, and this time he hands off to Mabry up the middle, who stands on his feet across the 25 out to the 29-yard line. A pickup of almost 8 yards on first down. And again, the Hurricanes have got to stop the Raiders on first down.
And Scott, that time they lined up with the big boy, Mabry, at tailback. They took Rose, number 10, put him at wide out, which is a tough formation for Cartersville to defend. But, Scott, we got to tackle. You know, we had a chance to tackle that kid for a 5-yard gain and missed the tackle, and he picked up an additional 4 yards.
There's going to have an official timeout. They're going to measure this one. Actually, didn't they just spot him just short of the 30-yard line,
Scott,
and now somehow the ball is across the 30?
I thought he was at least a yard short, but he picked up some yardage on that spot.
Actually, getting a first down is good for the Canes because if they don't get it, I think do they have it?
Short.
Yep, they got it.
Give it to it.
But that's actually good because they're going to get that. They're going to get an inch, and that just gives them an extra play to try something else. I mean, any one of the offensive linemen could fall forward for 6 inches. Mabry, the 260-pound fullback, this time comes out of the eye as Moore steps in, and again dotting it is Brandon Rose. Wide receiver to each side for the first time tonight, no wing, and this time they're going to hand off to Rose up the middle, who breaks it outside. Great downfield blocking that time by the Raiders. And that ball goes out of bounds down at the Hurricane 49-yard line. A nice pickup that time of 21 yards on first down, and the Raiders are going to move the sticks.
Scott, we heard a lot again about number 39, the big fullback, Mabry, but we didn't hear a whole lot about Brandon Rose, number 10, senior running back. Scott, he's got a chunk of yardage in his first half.
Shaw's going to bring it up to the line. This time they're now going to split, come back to the eye, and this time they bring Holland in at the fullback, and at the wing this time goes Brandon Rose. Moore goes under center, and this time he's going to drop back, and he hands to Mabry, who breaks the first line of defenders and pushes his way down to the Hurricane 44-yard line. A gain of 5 yards on first down, brings up second and short.
And Scott, Cartersville had the correct stunt call. He stunned at number 4, Chris Cochran, on that play, and Chris Cochran just didn't wrap up on Mabry. Had him 2 yards deep in the backfield. Tackling is going to be important. I mean, these two guys run hard. Mabry runs hard. 10 rows, runs hard, and you've got to lock them up. You can't throw a shoulder block on these kids. You got to wrap them up and bring them down.
6:20 to play here in the first half. Canes leading at 16-13. This time, Shaw's going to come out of one backfield, and he's hitting the back, and that is a great job that time of the Hurricane defense as Brandon Rose is dropped back at the 48-yard line. A loss of 4 on the play is going to bring up 3rd and long, and finally, the Hurricanes get some stoppage defensively.
Yeah, number 9, Brandon Houston, coming on a stunt from the outside, but that time he ran inside of the wing block and made the tackle. And, Scott, that might be, what it takes. Cartersville may have to just sell out and start bringing 8 guys. If they throw the ball, we're going to sack him. Otherwise, we've got to get into the backfield and disrupt this running game of Shaw.
3rd and 8 the call. 5:35 to play. They're going to drop back to pass. Here comes the Hurricane blitz, and he's going to be dropped back at the Shaw 43-yard line. And the Hurricanes, as you said, sell out that time, and now they're going to get the football with 5.5 minutes to play here in the first half.
Scott, number 22 again, Barrett Bull Knaps with his 3rd sack of the night on the quarterback, Terrence Moore. 3 sacks, got for a total of about 27 yards in losses for Barrett Knaps.
Shaw steps in to kick this one away. Having the honors tonight will be Kevin Hood. Hood will step just inside his own 30. He gets the snap, and he gets that one away, an end-over-end kick. Johnson's going to field it at the 24, and he's going to be hit right there and brought down by a bunch of black jerseys. And that's where the Hurricanes will take over 1st and 10.
Yeah, Terrell Johnson, number 21, never had a chance on that play. Had 3 defenders right there in his face when he fielded that football. And Shaw, Scott, this team does a good job of tackling. A lot of good tacklers on this team. 4:42 to go here in the second quarter. Cartersville up 16-13. A big extra point missed by the Shaw kicker. And, Scott, last week, Cody Nix, as we know, is the holder, did a great job of getting down that snap when Trent Dittmer kicked it. Otherwise, that could have been a botched field goal.
Well, the Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the wing tee. Lyle Allen goes under center. This time he's got McClendon in at the wing, and they hand off to him around the left end. He's across the 30, a pickup of 5 on 1st down, and it brings up 2nd and 5, and the Canes get the clock moving. 4.5 minutes to play here first half, leading it 16-13, and this could be a big drive for the Canes if they can get going north-south.
Yeah, number 1, Chris McClendon into the game for the first time for number 21, Terrell Johnson, getting his first carry, doing a good job of running the buck sweep on that play.
The Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line. Again, they're going to run this time with McClendon in at the wing to the right side of the formation. Jeremy Trimble in at a wideout. And this time they're going to send Nesbitt in motion, and they hand off to the fullback up the middle. He's loose across the 40, still on his feet at the 45. And a great effort by Barrett Knaps out to the 47-yard line, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks. A 17-yard pickup for the Hurricanes offensively.
And Scott, Cartersville has not run the fullback trap all night, but Barrett Knaps made a terrific move at the line of scrimmage. Just slipped the linebacker. Great job by Barrett Knaps of running the football on that play. Scott, I don't think he's been out. I think Barrett's been there on defense and on the offense fullback all night, but Barrett Knaps is a tough, tough kid.
Well, again, he comes in at fullback. This time they send McClendon in motion. They give it to him around the left end. He's looking for the corner, breaks one tackler, pushes ahead to the midfield stripe, and he's going to land in Shaw territory at the 49-yard line. A pickup of 5 on 1st down, and that's exactly what you need out of the junior back.
Yeah, Chris McClendon running the football hard. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, kept those feet moving. Scott picked up 5 yards on his own. He was stopped, but Chris McClendon would not be denied.
2nd and 5 the call with 3:12 to go here in the opening half. The Hurricanes leading it 16-13 on the Century Bank scoreboard, and the Canes are going to bring it up to the line. They're going to bring Ian Smith to the right side of the formation out of the wing tee, and this time they're going to send Nesbitt in motion. They give it to him around the right end. He's looking upfield, crosses the 45, has the right on the first down marker. Might be about a half a yard short. It's going to bring up, I think, 3rd and short, depending on the spot. Let's see where they put it down.
Scott, they're marking him short. The official has his hand up for 3rd down, I think, on this play.
It'll be 3rd and short.
And Scott, you're starting to see Cartersville having some success here against this Shaw defensive front. They've struggled early, but they're moving the football here with 2:33 to go in the second quarter.
The passing game might have opened up a few holes as Shaw brings them all in the box, and this time they go right up the middle this time as Lyle Allen keeps it. He gets the first down, and the clock will stop with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to play here in the first half. Cartersville holding a 3-point advantage, 16-13 on the Century Bank scoreboard as Allen comes to the sideline to get the play. The Canes moving left to right on your radio dial, and this time they'll operate from the middle of the field.
Yeah, Scott, you want to keep this drive going, but, if you can, you want to burn as much time as possible. I think Cartersville realizes that they can throw the football when they need to, but we want to keep this clock moving on this drive.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. This time they're going to send Nesbitt in motion. They run a crisscross underneath the McClendon, who's loose at the 30, steps outside at the 25, and he's going to be wrestled down inside the 15 at the 13-yard line. And what an effort inside that time as the misdirection confuses the Shaw defense and the Hurricanes move the sticks.
Yeah, nice job of play calling here by Coach Barton. And, Scott, now we see Shaw. That defense is on his heels. Cartersville kind of has them on their heels. They're not sure what's coming at them. They run the crisscross, the handoff sweep back underneath. 1:43 to go. Let's keep this ball on the ground and run this clock.
The Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. 1:37 to play, and this time they hand off to McClendon. He gets loose outside again, pushes his way down near the 10-yard line. A gain of 4 on first down. Brings up 2nd and 6. And Chris McClendon has come to play tonight.
Nice job again. Chris McClendon was hit again at the line of scrimmage, but broke a tackle and picked up an additional 5 yards.
The Hurricanes are going to call for the timeout with 1:21 to play here in the first half. That is their first charge timeout of this half. Canes lead it 16-13. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're listening to WIXC and watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back to Knitt Stadium. You're watching the high school football game of the week, and you're listening to WIXC AM 1270. The Hurricanes will operate from the 10-yard line. 1:21 to play here in the first half. The Canes are going to bring it up to the line. This time they're going to bunch it in tight on the wing tee. The Raiders show blitz, and Lyle Allen does a good job of mixing up the call. He's going to change it at the line, and Allen brings them up to the line. This time he's going to send McClendon in motion, and they come and they pitch it to him around the left end. He's looking for the corner. He steps inside at the 5, stays on his feet down at the 5-yard line. A gain of 5 on second down. It's going to be very near a first down. We'll see where they spot this one.
Scott, I think he's going to be short. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 1. But again, Chris McClendon running the football with authority and with power.
And the Hurricanes are going to call for a timeout. We'll take a break as well. 1:01 to play here in the first half. Canes leading at 16-13, and they're knocking on the door. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Knitt Stadium. 1:01 to play here in the first half, and the Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line. This time they're going to run out of that Delaware wing tee as they bring McClendon in at the wing to the right side of the formation. Tremble in at receiver. In the backfield, Nesbitt and Naps, and they hand it to Nesbitt up the middle, who's at the 5 into the end zone for 6, and a late penalty flag comes out. We'll see what the call is.
Of course, Scott, when it's thrown in that area, it looks like it could be a hole.
It's going to be holding against the Canes.
Wow. Scott, you hate to see that. Cartersville has already had 1 touchdown, that first quarter dropped, and, hopefully we can get the ball in the end zone here, but this will be huge if we can't get it in here.
That's going to back them up 10 from the spot of the foul, which will put the ball on the 15-yard line, and it brings up 3rd and 11 instead of a touchdown. So,
you drive all the way downfield and score a touchdown, and all of a sudden a flag comes out at this point in the football game.
And the Cartersville Hurricanes are going to call for a timeout with 52 seconds remaining here in the first half, leading at 16-13. We'll take a break as well. You're watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WIXC AM 1270. And welcome back to Knitt Stadium. 52 seconds to play here in the first half. Canes face 3rd and 11 now. After the touchdown was negated, they'll bring A.T. Barnes in the game as a wide receiver, split wide to the right side of the formation. This time, Allen goes under center. He drops back to pass, throws over the middle, has A.T. Barnes in for 6, and Cartersville has put a touchdown on the board.
Scott, how big is that?
That is huge. You get backed up 10 on the hold, and then you answer with 6 at the other end. The Canes lead it by 9. 22-13, and you can hear a pin drop on this home sideline here at Knitt Stadium.
Scott, I'm going to say it again. Number 14, Lyle Allen has arrived. I mean, we're talking third round of the playoffs, and he is throwing the football.
Trent Dittmer will set up for the extra point. 45 seconds to play. The snap is down. The kick is up and on the way, and it's good. The Canes lead at 23-13. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WYXC AM 1270. And welcome back to Kennett Stadium. 45 seconds to play here in the first half, and the Hurricanes need to kick this ball away from number 10, Brandon Rose. He's standing at the 16-yard line, and he has been a one-man wrecking crew, and this time the Hurricanes will set up. They're going to kick this one end over end, and Rose is going to have to come back for it at the 10, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Looked like Rose touched it, so there won't be any penalty flag.
Scott, he did throw a flag on that play,
okay.
yeah. So they're going to take the ball on the 35-yard line. I'll take that.
Any day of the week.
Of course, if I was Shaw, I may make Cartersville kick it again. And, Scott, they are. They're going to force Cartersville to try to kick this ball to Rose. You know, most teams would take that football on the 35-yard line, accept the penalty. But when you have a guy like Rose back deep, you know, why take it on the 35 when he can take it to the house?
He's like that guy from Miami.
Oh, Hester.
Hester.
He's dangerous.
So
And, Scott, I wish we could just walk up and hand it to one of those guys up front.
45 seconds to play here in the first half. Canes holding a 23-13 advantage as the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. Now they'll kick from where the college guys do at the 35-yard line after it went out of bounds. Dittmer puts it down, and this time he'll kick it end over end, and this time they'll field it at the 44-yard line. And that's where Shaw will take over with 42 seconds to play here in the first half. We'll see what the Raiders try to do.
Yep, Shaw has a short field, but Scott, there are only 42 seconds left. Throwing the football has not been a strong suit. They've only completed one pass. Of course, that was a quick hitch route where the quarterback just raised up and threw the ball out right out there in the flats to number 10, Brandon Rose. And that's the guy you got to look for right here. I would not be surprised if Rose did not line up at wide out and they try to throw the football to him.
This time they're going to bring Jarrell Marbley in. Jarrell Mabry at a fullback position, and the quarterback's going to come out and have a shotgun. 4 wide receivers this time as they drop back. This time he's got time. He's going to roll out, and the Hurricanes in pursuit of him. Nowhere to roll, and he's going to throw this one out of bounds as he floats it up. And with 32 seconds to play here in the first half, the clock is stopped, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
And, Scott, you can tell that this is not Shaw's cup of tea. They go one back set. They go twins on both sides. Quarterback trying to find someone open, but throwing the football is not what they do best.
The Raiders are going to make a substitution. Laterio Shaw checks into the game. This is a good place for him to play.
Scott, I tell you what would be nice if we could pick one off and just have 21 Terrell Johnson put his right hand behind his helmet and hot step down the sideline.
31 seconds to play here in the first half. 23-13 your score. Canes on top of this one. And again, Terrence Moore will come out of the shotgun. This time he's going to roll out to his left. Under some pressure, he throws it underneath, and the ball is picked off by the Canes. Chris Cochran comes away with it at the 47-yard line, and the Hurricanes are in business. 21 seconds to play here in the first half. And do you put the offense on the field and let him throw a dagger?
Oh, yeah. You got to put them in there. You got to get Trimble, and you got to get A.T. Barnes in there. Scott, you have not because you asked not. I asked for an interception, and we got it. I didn't get the hot step, but I'll take the interception. We can get in field goal range here, Scott, and kick a field goal.
The Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line. 21 seconds to play here in the first half. And this time the Canes are going to go with their 4-wide package. Lyle Allen will come out of the shotgun. No timeouts for the Canes. Allen drops back to pass, has some time, throws it into the flat, has Nesbitt upfield. He's on his feet at the 40, still on his feet, reverses his field at the 30, and he's going to be brought down at the Shaw 26-yard line, and the clock would stop, should be stopping. 3 seconds just ran off the clock. It went from 11 to 9 to 8, and the Hurricanes
you're right.
are going to bring it.
It should have stopped at 11 seconds.
8 seconds to play here in the first half, and the Canes are going to bring it up to the line. The clock is going to run, and now we got a penalty flag on the field. We'll see what the call is.
Scott, we got to line up and get on the football.
I don't think they had enough men on the line of scrimmage. They're going to call an illegal procedure against the Canes.
The whole thing is, Scott, we got to get up and kill the clock. This clock is going to start. Again, we got to get on the ball, and we got to kill the clock.
8 seconds to play here in the first half. The Hurricanes working from the Shaw 31-yard line.
They're asking Scott for 10 seconds back on the clock. Actually, Scott, you're right. There should be 11 seconds on this clock. We've got a first down, and the clock kept running.
They're going to have to run the clock. And this is actually good because it gives the Hurricanes a chance to regroup a little bit.
Yeah, I'm glad the umpire did that. Still shorted us one, but, 10 seconds is better than 8.
The Canes will work from the Shaw 31-yard line. There'll be 10 seconds on the clock. They had to go to a minute and then run it down. I guess the clock here doesn't have the ability just to put 10 seconds on, but this gives.
Or it could just be incompetence in the press box. Because most of those clocks now, Scott, nowadays, you can just punch in 11 seconds and it's set.
10 seconds to play, and will they stop it at 10? What if they miss at 10?
Oh, gosh.
11, and now at 10 seconds they're going to stop the clock, and the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. Trips to the left side of the formation. Allen throws it in the dirt, and that's going to stop the clock with 8 seconds, and now we're back to where we were.
And Scott Cartersville is going to try a long field goal here.
Trent Dittmer will get an opportunity here to kick a, let's see where he lines up. It'll be a 48-yard field goal.
I'll tell you, Scott, this would be gravy if he could make this one.
Dittmer kicking from the right hash mark. The sophomore. 8 seconds to play here in the half. The snap is down. The kick is up and on the way, and it's going to be just a tad bit short. And that'll do it for the first half of play, with Cartersville leading it 23-13. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WYXC. For all of our radio listeners, we'll send you back to the studios of WYXC, where Billy will have scores and highlights from around the state. And for all of our television viewers, we'll leave you right here as we'll show you the pride of the city of Cartersville. The Hurricane Marching Band will be right back after this. And welcome back to Knitt Stadium. You're watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WYXC AM 1270. I'm Scott Singer along with Donald Rucker. And at the half, the Hurricanes hold a 23-13 advantage, and they will get the football to start the second half. The captains are now meeting at midfield, and we'd like to take a quick look back at the scoring. The Hurricanes on the board first, the 9:42 mark on the opening drive of the game. They forced Shaw back deep. The Raiders had to punt. They snap it over the punter's head. It goes through the end zone. The punter kicks it through for the safety. 2-0. The Canes lead early. Then with 2:10 to play in the first quarter, Jarrell Mabry scored on a 12-yard touchdown run. That would make it 6-2 with the missed PAT. And then the Hurricanes came right back. 10-10 to play in the second quarter. Jeremy Trimble catches a 22-yard touchdown pass from Lyle Allen. That made it 9-6. But then on the ensuing kickoff, Brandon Rose would take it the distance. He goes 85 yards in the other direction through everyone on the Hurricane return team, and he goes in for 6. That would make it 13-9. But the Hurricanes would then answer off a fumble return off of a punt. 22 yards later, Terrell Johnson is in the end zone for 6, and Cartersville retook the lead 16-13. And then A.T. Barnes threw a dagger through the heart of the Shaw Raiders, an 11-yard touchdown reception from Lyle Allen. That made it 23-13, and that is our score at the half. And the Hurricanes get ready to get the ball here to start the second half. Some other scores, as you heard earlier, I'd like to congratulate Calhoun right now, who's on their way. They're ahead in that game, 24-14, and Coosa hanging around right now with Charlton County. And, of course, the other games in AAA, they're scoreless at North Hall tonight with Washington County, and LaGrange at the half leads Carrollton 10-3, and I bet that is an all-out war at Grisham Stadium. And the Canes about ready to get the football, and the ball is in the air. A high floating kick will be fielded at the 5-yard line, and here come the Canes back the other way. Running for the corner, and outside is number 9, Brandon Houston. He's across the 25 out to the 30, and the Hurricanes will start with relatively good field position.
Scott, there's number 9, Brandon Houston, your outside linebacker, defensive end, but not your typical outside linebacker, defensive end. This kid is a tremendous athlete. Nice job of returning the football by number 9, Brandon Houston. And we know that, Brandon has great speed. And with one more block, Brandon very close to breaking that kickoff. Cartersville, 1st and 10 at the Cartersville 20, just outside the 28-yard line.
The Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. This time they're going to work with 11:47 to play here, coming left to right on your radio dial. Third quarter, Canes leading at 23-13. They'll come out of the wing tee. Allen goes under center. He sends Nesbitt in motion and gives it to him around the left end. Nesbitt trying to break outside, steps through, and gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. Couldn't get to the corner that time. It brings up 2nd and 10, and the clock continues to run with 11.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
That time, Ramon Nesbitt running the buck sweep. May have lost about a yard on that play, Scott. We saw Cartersville have some success late there in that second quarter. It looked as if the defense of Shaw was starting to tire a little bit. Hopefully Cartersville can continue to run the football and wear down this defensive unit of Shaw.
The Canes will work from the middle of the field, again out of the wing tee. Allen goes under center. This time he's going to drop back and again change the call at the line. Allen quickly goes back under center, out of the wing tee. They send Nesbitt in motion, and they hand off to the fullback up the middle. He's across the 35, outside at the 40, and he pushes his way for the first down. Great effort that time by the junior Barrett Knaps.
And, Scott, we got a flag on the play, and this one's coming back again.
Tough break for the Hurricanes offensively. It's going to be holding, and that's going to back them up 10.
Scott, we've seen that happen twice right there at the end of the second quarter now when Cartersville picks up huge yardage. Flag comes out. Not sure who that penalty was on.
Again, it'll be holding against the Canes, and that will back them up 10 from the spot of the foul, which was the 30-yard line. So that puts them back on the 20 and brings up 2nd and 20. And now the Hurricanes may change things up a little bit. We'll see what happens here. 2nd and 20 the call. They break the huddle and bring it up to the line. They'll work from their own 20-yard line. The clock continuing to run, 10:35 to play here in the third quarter. Lyle Allen goes under center, again out of the wing tee. This time they're going to send Nesbitt in motion, and they give it to him around the left end. He's looking for the corner, and he's going to be brought down after a gain of about 3 on second down, and now it's going to bring up 3rd and about 17.
And Scott, this is a dangerous situation here for Cartersville, 3rd and 17. Of course, Shaw is going to be expecting pass on this play. You don't want to turn it over. We'll wait and see what the call will be. A lot of times in a situation like this, when it looks like it's an obvious passing down, you see Coach Barton elect to run the football. They may just run the fullback trap here with Barrett Knaps.
They're under 10 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Canes leading at 23-13 on the Century Bank scoreboard as Allen goes under center. Out of the wing tee. This time he sends McClendon in motion. He drops back under play action. Allen in trouble, and he's going to be hit and ripped down at the 16-yard line. And should have been a face mask penalty back there, but Shaw comes up big, and now the punt team will come onto the field.
Yeah, 3rd and 17. Big. I'm telling you, Scott, tough to pick up that yardage. That time, number 2, Jeremy Trimble, was the only receiver out in the route, but he was covered well. Shaw gets his first sack of the night in this football game on number 14, Lyle Allen. And Scott, now you don't want to punt that football to number 10, Brandon Rose.
He gets the snap, and this one is kicked deep, and it will bounce and roll out of bounds just across the midfield stripe at the Shaw 48-yard line, and that's where the Raiders will take over 1st and 10.
Good job by the Shaw defense of not allowing Cartersville to get a first down. Cartersville did pick up the first down with Barrett Knaps running the fullback trap, but got a holding call on that play to negate the first down. Shaw now with excellent field position and a short field to work with the football just outside the 50-yard line.
Shaw's going to come out of an eye this time, and now they hand off right up the middle to Mabry, who's across the midfield stripe, reverses his field, has one man to beat. He's outside looking for the corner, and he's going to run toward the end zone, and he's going to get down. They're going to get him right inside the 10 at the 3-yard line. He goes out of bounds, and Shaw is knocking on the door, and that just gets the Raiders right back in it.
Yeah, with the way they can run the football, Scott, you don't want to give them a short field. And that's Scott, we got a flag on the play. Somebody is praying over there on the Cartersville sideline.
It's going to be a block in the back against the Raiders back at the 41-yard line, and that is a huge break for the Canes because that's going to be 10 yards from the spot of the foul, and they'll replay first down, so we'll go back and redo what we just saw.
Scott, how many 260-pound fullbacks have you seen run like that and with that kind of speed in high school?
Shaw coaches are ripping the referee on the far side, but hey, Cartersville just got a call similar to that on the last drive.
Scott, I think that's the first offensive penalty they've had this game. You know, they were due one.
They got away with a face mask on the last tackle, which would have been a 15-yard face mask because they pulled him down by the mask, but the ref could not see it because of his position, and now they'll bring it up to the line. This time they'll work with a wing to the left side of the formation, and this time they hand off up the middle, and Rose pushing forward, gets loose outside. He's got one man to beat. He's at the 20, and A.T. Barnes is going to rip him down inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. Looked like he was down near the midfield stripe, but Rose just kept the legs moving.
Yeah, Scott, and I think that the Cartersville defense thought Rose was down. He's so small at, 5'8", 5'9". He was, off balance, looked like he was going to go down. The defense kind of relaxed, and Rose regained his balance. And once he's in the open field, he's tough to catch. Good job by A.T. Barnes of running him down.
Shaw's going to bring it up to the line. Again, they're going to work with a split backfield. Rose and Mabry, and this time they hand to Mabry up the middle, who gets hit, spins off a couple tacklers, and works down near the goal line. The clock continues to run under 8 minutes to play here, third quarter. And that's going to bring up 2nd and goal.
Yeah, Mabry got hit that time on the belly play at the line of scrimmage, but this kid's so big, great speed, great power. He Scott just reversed and had a spin move and continued to run towards that goal line. Shaw may just go with a quarterback sneak right here.
They're sitting about a yard from the end zone. Moore will come up to the line, and this time he keeps it himself up the middle. The Hurricanes push him back. No sign yet, and I don't believe he got in.
Scott, they did not signal a touchdown. I thought he got in, but it's going to be 3rd and goal, and he's got to be on the 1 or 2 inch line. I mean, that's close. Be nice if we could get a fumble snap, something right here, or, that ball just roll on the top of somebody's helmet on the pile, and we do one of those old Georgia Bulldog moves and take it off the pile and go 99 yards the other way.
Well, again, the Raiders will come up to the line. Again, they'll work from the 1-yard line. Split backfield, Rose the wing to the left side of the formation. This time they hand off to Mabry, who's looking for the corner, and he'll slide into the end zone for 6.
Scott, that's tough to stop. But offensive line and that big fullback, and he runs anything off tackle. It's tough to stop that kid from getting 2 or 3 yards. Shaw comes back, Scott, and they answer right here in this third quarter, 6:45 to go. The score, Cartersville 23, Shaw 19. Shaw attempting the extra point. They missed one early in the first quarter, and that was a big miss.
Chandler Anderson will come in to attempt the extra point. The snap is down, and the Hurricanes are going to block it. Ball's on the ground, and that'll do it. And the Canes now lead it 23-19, and that was big right there.
Scott, that's 2 points they've missed on extra points. The score could be 23-21, but they've missed 2 extra points.
6:45 to play here in the third. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WYXC AM 1270. And welcome back to Knitt Stadium. 6:45 to go here, third quarter. Canes leading at 23-19 after Shaw takes it in on 3 plays. A 51-yard drive, and they're in the end zone, but they do miss the PAT. On the ensuing kickoff, the Hurricanes will field it at the 5. Brandon Houston across the 10, still on his feet at the 15, makes one-man miss, gets to the corner, and he's going to be wrestled down at the 17-yard line. And the Hurricanes will take over right there with 6.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, good job of covering that kickoff by the Shaw kickoff team. Cartersville again starting in poor field position on their own. Looks like about the Cartersville. They're going to spot it at the just outside the 17-yard line. Scott, 23-19, and again, this offense is going to have to rise up again and answer the touchdown of Shaw.
The Hurricanes will break the huddle and bring it up to the line. This time they go with all the big bodies. Ian Smith in at the tight end. They'll work out of the wing tee. A wide receiver split out wide to the left side of the formation, and Allen goes under center. This time he throws it out to the flat to Johnson. He's across the 20, the 25, and he's going to be wrestled out of bounds at the 30-yard line, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks.
Nice call on first down. Cartersville throwing a pass right out to Terrell Johnson. Terrell Johnson going in motion from right to left in the offensive formation. Good throw again by Lyle Allen. And Scott, Cartersville is going to have to throw the football some, but of course, you know, you want to be able to run that football and wear down this defense. Most importantly, you don't want Shaw to get the football back.
Well, the Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line. This time they bring the tight end to the left side of the formation. They bunch Trimble in tight to the right side. They're working from the left hash mark, coming left to right on your radio dial. This time they're going to send Nesbitt in motion, and they give it to him around the left end. He's looking for the corner, and he's going to be wrestled down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain, and the clock continues to run. 6:13 to play here, third quarter. Again, the Canes still hold a 23-19 advantage.
Yeah, Cartersville had success late in the second quarter running the buck sweep, but now Shaw has made the adjustment, Scott, and they're forcing Cartersville to run east-west on this play, and you're not going to outrun this Shaw defense running east-west. Cartersville's probably going to have to get a little more north-south with the football and run at this defense a little more.
The Canes are going to bring it up to the line, leading at 23-19. 5:45 to play here, third quarter. They're going to work out of the wing tee. They drop back to pass. Allen has time. This time he throws it up for Trimble, and that ball overthrown, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 10.
Scott, they tried to run a little hitch and go with Jeremy Trimble where he ran 5 yards. He stopped. Lyle Allen pumped him, tried to run by the defensive back, number 9, Anthony Threats. But the cornerback doing a good job on that play. I still think Cartersville can just throw the short stuff, Scott, and allow those receivers to catch the ball and run for first down. He was open after the 5-yard stop route. That cornerback was so deep covering Jeremy Trimble on that play.
Cartersville leading at 23-19. They'll break the huddle and bring it up to the line. 5:34 to play here in the third quarter. The Canes are going to go with a wing to the left side of the formation. That's Barrett Knapp's 2 wide receivers. They drop back under play action. They throw it over the top, and it's intercepted back at the 45-yard line. That ball just floated up there, and Shaw's coming back the other way. And a great open field tackle by Jeremy Trimble back at the 42-yard line, and that's where Shaw's going to take over 1st and 10.
Scott, I'm not sure if that ball slipped out of the hand of Lyle Allen, but it's not a very well-thrown pass. Thrown probably 5 yards over the receiver's head right into the hands of the defensive back of Shaw. And now Shaw has a short field again, Scott, to work with. They started the last drive on the 50-yard line. They're now on the Cartersville 42-yard line.
This time they're going to work out of the eye. They'll bring a wing to the right side of the formation. This time they hand off up the middle to Mabry, who's hit after a short gain. Might have gotten to the 40, a gain of 2 on first down, brings up 2nd and long.
Yeah, number 9, Brandon Houston coming hard on the outside. But Cartersville is going to have to attack, Scott. I mean, they may have to blitz to stop the run. They can't sit back and watch Rose and Mabry run the football. They've got to get some penetration and disrupt in the backfield and cause them to run east-west and then run them down.
4:48 to go here, third quarter. Shaw brings it up to the line. Again, they're going to go wing to the right side of the formation, and again, they'll work out of the eye. Mabry and Rose in the backfield. Rose dots the eye, and he works to the corner, looking, and the Canes are going to wrestle him down just inside the 40 at the 39-yard line, a gain of 1, and that brings up 3rd and 7.
And 22 Barrett Knapp's playing with good leverage on the outside, not allowing Rose to get outside, and then you got the linebackers and defensive linemen pursuing from inside out. When Rose did cut up inside, he didn't have anything on that play. Good job by the defense on that play. And, Scott, this is a big play right here, 3rd down. We've got to hold Shaw right here. We don't need to allow them to get a sustained drive right here.
Terrence Moore gets the play from the sidelines as this time the Raiders make a quick substitution as they bring number 87, Antonio Bailey, into the game. He comes in at a wide receiver, left side of the formation. This time they bring Rose in at a wing, and they're going to send him in motion. Moore drops back. This time he's going to run the option down the line. The Hurricanes have him in pursuit, and they're going to wrestle him down at the 45. He throws it away. There should be a penalty flag out, and they didn't call one.
Scott, that's got to be a flag on that play. But number 22 again, Barrett Knapp's going for his 4th sack of the night. And, Scott, I think they're going to rule him down. They're saying that the quarterback was down. So that's the 4th sack of the night for Barrett Knapp's. And, Scott, he just barely got enough of that jersey to get him down. Either it's a sack or it's intentional grounding. Great job by the Cartersville defense.
Well, he gets the sack, and now the Hurricanes are going to get the football. Terrell Johnson will stand back at his own 10-yard line. The clock continues to run with 3:15 to go here, third quarter. Canes holding a 23-19 advantage. The snap is back to the punter, and he gets this one off. It is a high floating kick, and Johnson's going to get away from it. And it's going to take a Shaw roll down to the 15-yard line, and that's where the Hurricanes are going to take over with 2:59 to play here in the third quarter, leading it 23-19. We do have some scores from around the state. In the fourth quarter, Washington County leads North Hall. Of course, the winner of this game tonight will get the winner of that game in the Georgia Dome next weekend. And then in the other bracket, LaGrange now leads Carrollton in the third quarter, 17-3.
Scott, Shaw started 1st and 10 on the Cartersville 42-yard line. Could not pick up any yardage. That was big for the Cartersville defense on that series.
2:56 to go here in the third. The Canes are going to work out of the wing tee. They send McClendon in motion, and this time they hand off underneath to Nesbitt, who pushes his way out at the 25, stays on his feet out to the 27-yard line, and that's going to be a pickup of 12. Actually, the ball's on the ground. And
Scott, I think they're going to spot it down.
Cartersville players arguing he was down, and they're going to give it to Shaw. And boy, that changes the dimensions of this game. A first down taken away, and now Shaw has the football deep in Hurricane territory at the Canes' 23-yard line.
Wow. Scott, I didn't see the conclusion of that play. I'm not sure if Ramon Nesbitt fumbled the ball or not, but as it stands, it's 1st and 10. Shaw at the Cartersville 28-yard line.
Shaw's going to bring it up to the line. This time they're going to work with 2 in the backfield, and they hand off this time up the middle to Shaw, to Rose, and he pushes his way near the 20-yard line, a gain of 3 on first down, brings up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, but that's what the defense has got to do. We've got to attack. We can't sit back and wait on these guys, but when we're there, Scott, we just got to wrap up, make the tackle. We got our linebackers there, the attacking line of scrimmage, but we've got to lock up Rose. Rose is a dangerous ball carrier.
Shaw's going to bring it up to the line. They'll work from the Hurricane 20, and they will come out of the eye. Again, Mabry and Rose in the backfield. Holland in at the wing to the left side of the formation. And again, they're going to drop back, and this time on the draw play up the middle to Rose. He pushes his way across the 20, down to the Hurricane 18-yard line, maybe the 17. It's going to be a gain of 3, and it brings up 3rd and short.
Yeah, Scott, now linebackers now just lining up. They're taking gaps, and Cartersville's trying to take every gap. They're just coming now to try to slow down this running game of Shaw, and that's about all that we can do.
Shaw working from the Hurricane just inside the 23-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5, the call. They're going to work out of an eye, and this time they're going to bring the wing to the right side of the formation along with the tight end. Moore goes under center, and he pitches it out to Rose, who's looking for the corner, and Rose is stopped hard right at the 20, knocked down at the 18-yard line. Terrell Johnson just threw a mean lick that time on the lead blocker, Mabry, and got through him and then made the hit on the backer.
And, Scott, that's the play they had success with against Cartersville the first half, shifting the tight end and the wing to the other side of the formation. Cartersville did not shift. 35, Darius Benham. They ran the sweep. Terrell Johnson making a great play, getting off the block and making the tackle. Big play by Terrell Johnson.
Well, now they're going to attempt a 35-yard field goal for number 22, Chandler Anderson, right down the middle of the field with 37 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. The snap is down, and the kick is on the way, and that ball is good right down the middle, and now Shaw's on the board. It's 23-22, the Hurricanes clinging to a 1-point advantage with 25 seconds to go here in the 3rd. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WYXC AM 1270. And welcome back to Knitt Stadium. 25 seconds to play here, 3rd quarter. The Canes holding a 23-22 advantage, and the Hurricane offense has got to get on the field. They've given away 9 points here in the second half, and now they'll get the football. A high floating kick will be fielded by Terrell Johnson at the 5. He's going to look for a hole, and he's going to come right through the middle. He's across the 15 and on his feet at the 20 out to the 21-yard line, and that's where the Hurricanes are going to take over 1st and 10.
And Scott Anderson did a good job of kicking that football high and deep. That allows the coverage team to get down and cover and make that play. But you're right, Scott, we've got to get something going here on offense. We've had terrible field position, turned the football over a couple of times here in this first half, and Shaw doesn't need any help at all. They're good enough without helping them.
Cartersville holding a 23-22 advantage. Again, 15 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. 12 minutes and 15 seconds separates one of these two teams from the Georgia Dome, and the Hurricanes are going to drop back. They roll out, throw to the flat, and A.T. Barnes catches it off the hop. It's incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Scott, that ball may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage by the defensive end of Shaw on that play, but they've got so many guys lined up, Scott, in the box, 8, 9 guys. You're going to be forced to throw that ball. And A.T. Barnes was open on that play. You can pick up 5 or 6 yards on the pass play. The other thing, Scott, I think we got to do, we got to line up probably some in the eye, and we got to run at them some instead of east and west with the buck sweeps.
Well, the Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line. 9 seconds to play here, 3rd quarter, and again, they're going to work out of the wing tee. This time they put Raymond Nesbitt in the backfield, and they hand off to him up the middle. And he pushes his way across the 20 out near the 23-yard line, a gain of a couple that time, and that will do it for quarter number 3 with our score. Cartersville 23, Shaw 22. We'll take a quick break and come back. The Hurricanes face the 3rd and 8. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to WYXC and watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back to Knitt Stadium. 12 minutes to go in this one as we start the 4th quarter, and the Hurricanes face a 3rd and, say, 8 yards here. They need their own 31-yard line for the first down to continue this drive. Raymond Nesbitt will line up out of the eye this time. A.T. Barnes split out wide to the left side of the formation, and now they're going to roll the coverage over to put 2 men on him. And this time they're going to send Trimble in motion, and the Hurricanes drop back under play action. And in the backfield and dropped that time for a sack was Lyle Allen, hit hard by a bunch of black jerseys back at the 12-yard line, and the Hurricanes are going to be forced to punt with 11:45 to go in the contest, leading at 23-22.
Yeah, Lyle Allen just didn't have enough time to throw that football. Scott, I wish Trimble could have just, he went in motion. Shaw did not adjust. Had he just stopped right there at the line of scrimmage, they could have just, really raised up and just hit him right there wide open because nobody really adjusted to the motion on that play.
The Hurricanes now into punt. Dittmer gets the football and gets it away. A high floating kick will be fielded at the 40, stays on his feet and gets dropped at the 35-yard line. The ball carrier that time, again for the Raiders, number 28, Quincy Rojas, with 11:06 to go in the game.
Yeah, that kick was almost blocked on that play, but again, Scott, Shaw has started the second half on their 50, on the Cartersville 42, on the Cartersville 28. Now they start their 4th drive of the second half on the Cartersville 34-yard line.
The Raiders are going to bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the wing tee. They're going to bring the tight end to the right side of the formation. They send Rose in motion, and he runs toward the corner, and he gets out on the line, and there's going to be a holding call out on the corner. He does pick up the first down, but that one's coming back. The Hurricanes fighting through at that time, and looked like 2 or 3 guys were being held around the left end.
Yeah, number 23, Trimble, that time got held, or they may call a block in the back on that play, Scott.
So with 10:54 here in the game, the clock is stopped, and Shaw's going to be backed up a couple.
I said Trimble, Scott, but, I mean, that was Ty Davis on that play getting held. Well, they're going to call a illegal block below the waist, chop block.
Is that 15 yards? That is, isn't it?
It's going to be 15. And, Scott, you know, first down is crucial. This team does not throw the football. If you can hold them on first down, you got a chance to stop them. But if they're picking up 5 and 6 on first down, their backs are so explosive, it's hard to stop Shaw from running the ball. But you got to try to stop them on first down.
Well, Moore's going to go under center. Again, this time they're going to work out of the wing tee with a wide receiver split out wide to the right side of the formation on the wide side of the field. They're working from the left hash mark, and this time they hand off underneath, and Rose is going to be caught right there and drop down, and the Hurricanes are going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage, brings up 2nd and long, and the clock continues to run with 10.5 minutes to go here in the contest. Cartersville holding a 23-22 advantage.
Scott, that's one of the toughest 100. I said he weighed 170. I'm not sure he weighs that much. Maybe 150, 155, but that's the toughest 150, 155-pound running back you'll see.
A lot of shirt tackles tonight on him.
Can't bring him down.
2nd and very long now, 10 minutes to go in the game. Shaw trailing it by 1. They bring it up to the line, and this time they work out of the wing tee again. The wingbacks again on the right side of the formation is Rose. They drop back to pass. The quarterback under some pressure, looking out, and here come the Canes, and they drop him back at the 44-yard line. And what an effort defensively. It's going to bring up 3rd and a mile now for the Shaw offense.
And, Scott, this is why on first down, that penalty was huge against Shaw. They don't have a passing game. If you can stop them on first down, you got an opportunity to stop them and kill their drive. But when they get big yardage, 4 or 5 on first down, their backs get another opportunity. Shaw probably would have been better served trying to run the football on that play, but they don't throw the ball well.
9:21 to go in the game. And now we're going to have a 3rd and long call, and Shaw's going to call for a timeout. We'll take a break as well with 9:20 to go in the game. Canes leading it 23-22. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Knitt Stadium. 9:20 to go in the game. Canes holding a 23-22 advantage, and Shaw with the football backed up at their own 45-yard line. And again, they started this drive at the Hurricane 34. And a block in the back negated a first down, or a chop block negated a first down, and then the Hurricane defense has come up big, and now no bigger play than right now with 9:20 to go in the game.
Yeah, we'll see what Shaw will try to do here on 3rd down. They got an eye with the big fullback at tailback this time.
They got twins to the left side of the formation, and now they're going to reverse them a little bit. As Moore goes under center, and this time he's going to drop back and he hands off up the middle. The ball's on the ground. The Canes say they have it, and I may have just stopped him. Now they do. Cartersville takes over on the fumble, and Cartersville has the ball deep in Shaw territory at the Raider 43-yard line with 9:12 to go in the game.
And, Scott, since that first drive of the second half, the defense has done a great job of stopping the Shaw offense. They've been put in tough situations here. Shaw getting the ball at the Cartersville 42, at the Cartersville 28, Cartersville 34, but this defense has played lights out this second half.
The Hurricanes are going to get the ball at the Shaw 43-yard line, and an opportunity to eat some clock here with the lead, 23-22. The Canes are going to work out of the eye. They'll go twins to the right side of the formation. Allen will go under center. No tight end this time. He drops back on the draw up the middle. Hands off to Nesbitt, who pushes his way across the 40 down to the 38-yard line. A gain of 5 on first down brings up 2nd and 5, and that clock continues to run as we go under 9 minutes.
And, Scott, that's a new formation. They go twins with an open, no tight end. They tried to spread out that Shaw defense, but most importantly, Cartersville went to an eye on that play. And I think you got to line up in the eye formation some and run at this defense. They're not having any success the second half running east and west.
The Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line, and again, they're going to come out of the eye. Ramo Nesbitt dots it along with Barrett Knaps. They go 3 wide receivers, no tight end, twins to the right side of the formation, AT to the left. This time Allen comes under center. He hands off to the fullback up the middle. He's across the 30, the 25, and Barrett Knaps is going to be wrestled down inside the Raider 20-yard line, and the Hurricanes are going to move the sticks.
Scott, what a stud. Barrett Knaps again on the trap block, but Barrett Knaps makes that little, he's not very shifty, but he makes that little slip move on the linebacker, slips that backer, picks up additional 25, 30 yards. Scott, I tell you, I like Barrett Knaps. Plays defense, fullback. This kid goes hard for 4 quarters.
Well, the Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line. They'll work just inside the Shaw 20-yard line from the Raider 19. The Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line. They'll run with an offset eye. Again, Barrett Knaps in at fullback, and this time they hand off to Ramon around the left end. He's looking for the corner, and he's going to be wrestled down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Brings up 2nd and 10, but the clock does continue to run as we go near the 7:45 mark here in the contest. Cartersville holding a 23-22 advantage, and now Terrell Johnson and James Maxwell will check out of the game. Canes might be going with a little bigger set this time. Brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, an offensive line that, needs to rise up. Everybody's got to do the job, got to make the blocks. Scott, we really need 6 right here.
The Canes are going to run with 1 back in the backfield out of the wing tee. This time they're going to send McClendon in motion. He's looking for the corner. He steps inside, and he's going to be hit hard by a bunch of Shaw players back at the 24-yard line. A loss of 4 on the play brings up 3rd and about 14. Clock does continue to run as we'll go under the 7-minute mark here.
Yeah, again, Scott, we've had no success running the buck sweep this half. They've made the adjustment. We did late in that 2nd quarter, but Shaw has adjusted. They've shut that play down. The only thing we've really had success with this 2nd half is running the fullback trap, and with it 3rd and being long, I was going to say I'm not sure if we would attempt to throw it. We might run the fullback trap with Knaps, but we've got A.T. Barnes lined up at the wideout position.
A.T. split out wide to the right side of the formation. They drop back. They have the halfback option. They throw it back the other way. Lyle Allen up there, and he became a defensive back on that play as he had to come up that time against number 30, Walter McKee, who was standing there for the interception.
Yeah, give Walter McKee credit, Scott. Stayed home, was not fooled by that play. A.T. Barnes was down the sideline. Scott, he wasn't open either. They had it all covered. Of course, it's 3rd and 16. So, of course, you're going to play pass, and Cartersville is going to try a long field goal here. I think the key, Scott, if we can get a good snap, Trent Dittmer may be able to make this field goal, but we've had some that are high and inside.
So with 6:29 to go here in the game, the Canes will attempt what will be a 41-yard field goal. The snap is down, the kick is up and on the way, and that ball is good. He splits the uprights from 41 yards out, and the Hurricanes are back on the board. They now lead it 26-22 with 6:20 to go in the contest. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Kennett Stadium. 6:20 to go here in the game. Cartersville holding a 4-point advantage, 26-22 off a 41-yard field goal by the sophomore Trent Dittmer.
Scott, timing is so important. When you get a snap to slow or high and inside and that kicker starts to approach the ball, he gets a bad snap, it throws his timing off. But that was a perfect snap, perfect hold. Trent Dittmer made the kick. Of course, now we got a kick off, and we know number 10, Rose, is back deep.
Well, Rose is back at the 20-yard line, and we'll see where the Canes put it. They're just going to put a little pooch kick down the middle of the field. Shaw's going to field it at the 30. They're coming back the other way, and they're going to be wrestled out of bounds at the 40-yard line, and that's where the Raiders are going to take over with 6:12 to go here in the contest.
Yeah, showing a lot of respect for Mr. Rose back deep. We were told he ran in the 4.4 to 4.38 range in the 40. Not very big, but this kid runs hard. He's tough to tackle. Here we are now, Scott, 1st and 10. This is the biggest down of the series. We've got to stop them right here on 1st down.
Shaw brings it up to the line. They're going to work out of the eye, and again, Rose dots it, and this time they hand off to him up the middle, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. He pushes forward for a yard. It's going to bring up 2nd and long, and the clock continues to run as we go under 6 minutes now in the contest. Cartersville holding a 26-22 advantage.
Scott, I tell you, number 22, Barrett Knaps, is a warrior. You got Knaps, you got number 4, Chris Cochran, just throwing their bodies in the hole. These guys are not very big, but I'll tell you, they're warriors. Throwing their bodies up in the hole, holding them to about 1.5 yards on that play.
5:41 to go in the game. They're going to come out of the eye with a wing to the left side. They pitch it to the corner. looking for Rose, and he's going to be ripped down in the backfield, and coming on to make the play is Terrell Johnson.
Tell me what time it is.
It's prime time, Coach, and with 5:29 to go here in the game, it's now going to be a 3rd and long for the Shaw offense.
Scott, when you got to have it every time. Number 21, Terrell Johnson coming up from the outside position, stopping that sweep play that Shaw has had success with all night. But, Scott, that's 2 times in a row they've run the sweep. But number 21, Terrell Johnson, has put the stops on Brandon Rose. And now they're 3rd and long, and we know, Scott, this is not what they do well.
Well, they're going to come up to the line. They're going to work out of the eye, and now Shaw's doesn't like the coverage, and they're going to call for a timeout. They'll burn their second of the second half. 4:55 to go in the game. We'll take a break as well. You're listening to WIXC and watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back to Kennett Stadium. 4:55 to go in the game. Shaw faces a 3rd and 12 from their own 38-yard line. They need just short of the midfield stripe for the first down, and this time they're going to come out of a split backfield. 2 wide receivers to the right side of the formation, and this time they're going to drop down the line. They throw into the flat, and Rose has it just short of the 40-yard line. He'll be brought down there. It'll bring up 4th down, and the Hurricanes are going to get the football as we now go under 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the game.
Scott, and it shows you how inept Shaw is in the passing game. 3rd down and 11, that was the best they could do, just raise up and just throw it to somebody and hope that Brandon Rose can get a first down. He knew that Cartersville was going to bring pressure, so he just threw it out there and just hope and pray that maybe Rose could make something happen, but Cartersville doing a good job of stopping him.
Chandler Anderson back at his own 25-yard line awaiting the snap. He gets the football, and they're going to fake it, and they run toward the corner. Rose is going to reverse his field, and the Hurricanes trying to close in on him. And they're going to tackle him at the 41, and that's where Cartersville is going to take over on downs. Every time you think Rose is going to go to the turf, something comes up.
Scott, I'm telling you, I didn't breathe for 12 seconds. I mean, I stood here. I was trying to breathe, but I couldn't breathe. I thought he was going to make a first down. He dodged 5 or 6 Cartersville defenders. Did not fool anybody. A.T. Barnes was right there. Had another Cartersville defender, missed him back behind the line of scrimmage, and Rose was about to pick up the first down on his own. But, Scott, I tell you, I thought it was going to need oxygen.
Well, the Hurricanes now are going to try to eat some clock. They're going to bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the eye. A wide receiver to each side. Terrell Johnson split out wide to the right side of the formation. The southpaw Lyle Allen goes under center. And this time he's going to hand off to the fullback up the middle, and Barrett Knaps bulls his way down to the 35-yard line, a gain of 5 on first down, and that clock continues to run. 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Now, Shaw has already burned 2 timeouts this half. They can stop the clock 1 time. There is no 2-minute warning in high school football.
And, Scott, the fullback trap again has been a big play. I'm not sure how many yards Barrett Knaps has, but, Scott, he's the leading ball carrier tonight for Cartersville, and approaching 100 yards right now. I'd say Barrett's somewhere in between the 80 and 90-yard range right now.
The Canes are now under 3.5 minutes to go in the game. They lead it 26-22 on the Century Bank scoreboard. They have the football at the Shaw 35. Allen is going to change the play at the line. 2nd and 5, they're going to work out of the eye. A wide receiver to each side, and this time, again, they hand off to the fullback, and Barrett Knaps pushes his way inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line. A gain of 2 on second down brings up 3rd and 3, and now we're going to be under 3 minutes in a second with 3:04 to play in this game. Again, Cartersville leading it 26-22.
Yeah, Cartersville keeping it on the ground with just a straight predetermined give, midline give to Barrett Knaps. 3rd down, Scott, and 3, and if Cartersville can get a first down here, it's going to be tough for Shaw to come back.
3rd and 3 the call. The Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line. They're going to work from the 33-yard line. 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the game. They're going to come out of the eye, and this time they hand off to Nesbitt, who's going to push his way down near the 30-yard line. But he's going to be maybe at the 32 is where they're going to spot him down, and he's going to be short of the first down marker. That clock is continuing to run, though, as we get down near 2 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the game, and the Hurricanes have to make a decision here on 4th down.
Scott, I think they're going to go for it.
And they are. They're going to send Lyle Allen back in the game.
Of course, they could run the freeze play where they try to get Shaw to jump off sides and then call a timeout and punt the football.
Cartersville does have 3 timeouts. They're going to bring it up to the line, 4th and 2. Long snap count. And now Cartersville calls for the timeout. And with 1:52 to go in the game, the Hurricanes are going to stop the clock, facing a 4th and 2. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're listening to WYXC and watching the high school football game of the week. And welcome back to Kinnett Stadium. You're watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WYXC AM 1270. The Hurricanes facing a 4th and 2 with 1:52 to play in the game. They hold a 26-22 advantage. If they go for it here and they get it, the game is all but over. If they go for it and don't get it, Shaw's backed up at their 30. If they try the field goal, it's a 49-yarder.
Yeah. Scott, that one pass play they've had success with is bringing 21 Terrell Johnson in motion and throwing it to him in the flats and allowing Terrell Johnson to pick up the first down. But they've got Terrell Johnson now in the backfield at the tailback position with Barrett Knaps at fullback.
Lyle Allen's going to bring him up to the line. They work out of the eye, and this time they're going to pitch it off to Nesbitt. Johnson, and he's got the first down across the 30, and the Hurricanes have moved the chains. 1:45 to go in the game, Coach, and what time is it?
It's 21 Terrell Johnson, prime time. When you got to have the tackle, when you got to have an interception, when you got to have anything, Scott, you don't call Superman, you call prime time. Terrell Johnson. Scott, that may be the football game.
Shaw can stop the clock one time, and it doesn't look like they're going to call that timeout anytime soon as the clock moves down to 1.5 minutes to go in this one. Cartersville holding a 26-22 advantage. They'll bring it up to the line. Allen goes under center, and this time he hands off to the fullback up the middle, who's hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage, but the clock continues to run. 1:18, 1:15, 1:14. That clock ticking away here at Kinnett Stadium. And the Hurricanes trying to punch their ticket to the Georgia Dome for the 3rd time under head coach Frank Barton and for the first time since the 2001 season. Cartersville very young this season. They'll bring back almost 18 starters.
Wow.
And they are now 54 seconds away from a date in the Georgia Dome. The Hurricanes are going to bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the eye. Again, Allen goes under center. And this time he's going to hand off again to Knaps up the middle across the 25, down to the 24. And with 38 seconds to go in the game, Shaw is going to burn their final timeout. And we're going to take a quick break and come back. You're watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WYXC AM 1270. And welcome back to Kinnett Stadium. There is a Hurricane down on the field. It is a cramp, and I think that's Barrett Knaps. And
Scott,
if anyone deserves to have a cramp tonight, it's that young man.
Scott, he ought to have cramps in both legs, but Barrett Knaps, the MVP of this football game, the way he's played on offense and defense, 4 sacks, totaling about 32 yards in losses against the Shaw quarterback by Barrett Knaps. Big run after big run tonight. Scott, of course, Shaw cannot stop the clock. Cartersville can run this football and then just let this clock run down. I don't know if this will be the last play, but they can use up a chunk of time right here. 38 seconds to go.
Canes just want to keep this ball on the ground. 3rd and 5 to call. They'll bring it up to the line. They hand off to Primetime, and he is down at the 25-yard line. And with 31 seconds to go, the game clock doesn't start running until they spot the ball. So now they've spotted it with 24 seconds to go, and I don't think Cartersville has to run another play. The Hurricanes have now done it. They are going back to the Georgia Dome.
Scott, I think he may have to run one more. I'm not sure.
They are going to take this all the way down to the pin mark here. 5, 4,
yes,
and now 3. 1 second remaining, and with 1 second on the clock, that is going to do
Scott,
it.
They're going to have to run one play. You can just take it and take a knee.
There is 1 second remaining on the game clock. It is 4th down. The Canes take the delay of game penalty. That'll back them up 5. But, again, all they have to do is get the snap out and take a knee. They will line up in their safety, and this will do it. The Hurricanes move to 9-4 on the year. They, a team that started the year 2-3, is now going to the Georgia Dome. They have answered the questions. They will now face Washington County next weekend in the Dome. Lyle Allen goes under center. 26-22. Allen takes a knee right here, and that will do it. The Hurricanes are headed to the Dome.
Wow.
What a season. What an effort. We talked about it all year long. We talked about how good this team was. They just had to get in the right situation.
Scott, on the road against Westminster, on the road in Columbus against Shaw. How unbelievable is that?
And next weekend they will head to a neutral site in the Georgia Dome where they will be the home team against Washington County. And then they will meet, the LaGrange will be in the other semifinal, and then we'll wait on what happens between Martin Luther King and Peach County. That game, of course, not finished yet. And there you have it, the final from Kinnett Stadium here in Columbus. The Hurricanes have done it. 26-22 your final. We'll take a quick break and break this one down when we come back. You've been watching the high school football game of the week and listening to WIXC AM 1270. And welcome back to Kinnett Stadium. The Hurricanes are going to the Georgia Dome. That game will be next weekend down in the Dome. I think it's a Saturday. No, it's a Friday game, isn't it?
I'm not sure, Scott, but I'll be there.
They will play a game next weekend in the Georgia Dome where they will meet Washington County, another team with a bunch of wins and very few losses. But this Cartersville team has knocked off an undefeated last week. They took an 11-1 team to the wire this week and have walked away with a huge victory on the road in Columbus. A very hostile environment. They almost got away from them, but when they needed to play, Terrell Johnson came up and stuck his man on 3rd and long, and the Hurricanes have now punched their ticket back to the Georgia Dome, playing smart football. And can you believe this? At the beginning of the year, the Hurricanes opened the year with a loss, and the last time the Hurricanes opened with a loss, they didn't make the postseason. This year, they have put the year back together. They finished the first 5 games of the year 2-3, and now, reeling off victory after victory after victory, including 7 in a row now, they are on their way to the Georgia Dome.
Scott, this is a totally different team for Coach Barden. You don't have the big back Ronnie Brown. You don't have the big wide out Levada Johnson. You don't have, 6'3" quarterback Chris Deach. You don't have those kids anymore. This is a team. I mean, just a total team effort. Is always somebody on offense or defense stepping up, making the play, whether it's offensive linemen or you got backs, quarterbacks, defensive backs. Somebody keeps stepping up, making plays.
And there you have it, the final here from Kinnett Stadium, 26-22. Let's recap the scoring in this one. First quarter, the Hurricanes get on the board first, a safety as it goes over the head of the punter, and just like that, Cartersville's on the board 2-0. Then Shaw puts together a drive of their own with 2:10 to play in the first quarter. Jarrell Mabry scores from 12 yards out. That made it 6-2, and Shaw showed they can run the football against Cartersville early. Then the Canes respond. 10-10 to play in the second quarter, a 22-yard touchdown pass to Jeremy Trimble from Lyle Allen. That made it 9-6 with the PAT, and the Hurricanes on the board. They've got the lead. Then on the ensuing kickoff, Brandon Rose takes it the distance, goes all the way back for 6. That would make it 13-9, and the Hurricanes now find themselves behind again. But Terrell Johnson did it again, this time off of a punt. A.T. Barnes rips the ball loose, and Terrell Johnson takes it 22 yards in for the score. That gave Cartersville the lead for good. They were up 16-13, and then an 11-yard touchdown reception from A.T. Barnes from Lyle Allen. That made it 23-13 at the half. Third quarter, Jarrell Mabry scores on a 1-yard touchdown run. Shaw cuts the lead to 4, 23-19 with the missed PAT. Then Shaw responds again with a 35-yard field goal from Chandler Anderson. That made it 23-22. All the momentum was swinging in the way of the Raiders, and then Trent Dittmer kicked the lights out here. A 41-yard field goal to seal the deal, 26-22, and then the Hurricanes just had to put this one to bed as they are headed to the Georgia Dome for the first time since 2001 and the third time under head coach Frank Barden in 9 seasons at the helm of the Canes.
And Scott, I'm not sure this Shaw football team or the fans here thought that Cartersville would be able to come in and do what they did tonight in Columbus. And Scott, you may want to even call this a mini upset here, having to go on the road and do what they've done tonight against, extremely talented Shaw football team. I tell you, Scott, this team is unbelievable. They just somehow find a way to win the football game.
And there you have the final, 26-22. I'd like to thank the crew for tonight's game. Running the high camera, out of retirement comes Cheryl Kennedy. Down low, again out of retirement, Brandon Brantley, a few Workhorse alumni coming back to help us out tonight. Dusty Taff taking care of things down low with Brandon, and of course back in the truck, Jason Woodside handling his directing duties. As always, I'm Scott Singer along with Donald Rucker. We'd also like to thank our sponsors for tonight's game: First Presbyterian Church, Century Bank, Temps Excel Incorporated, Nally Volvo, Badcock Home Furniture and more, North Metro Technical College, The Image Source, Sports Max, Sutton Industrial, Crescent Bank, Matheson Glass, the Cartersville Medical Center, the Bartow County Bank, the Blue Sky Car Wash, Parmenter Langford and Watkins Insurance, the Stiles Collision Center, Unity National Bank, Elno Paul Restaurant, United States Industrial Supply, Larry Thompson Realty, Mobile Treads, Hooters, and Major Motors, along with Owens Hardware and Sporting Goods, and finally, Cece's Pizza. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors. Again, this broadcast would not be possible without their help. Again, another great night for the Hurricanes, 26-22, and they are headed to the Georgia Dome for the third time under head coach Frank Barden, and the first time since the 2001 season. And everybody on this field, I believe this will be their first trip to the Dome.
Yeah, Scott, and there are 4 teams left, and the Hurricanes are one of them. Unbelievable, I tell you.
That's going to do it. Our final again from Kinnett Stadium, 26-22. We'll see you again next week, Friday, a 3 o'clock game in the Dome.